Welcome to today's practice. I'm Brentan, and today we're going to be focusing on scapular movement or movement of our shoulder blades, which are those two things on the back and meshed in muscles and then connected via those muscles to the arm bone. And so they move when the arm moves, but they can also move by themselves. Sometimes they get stuck if we don't mobilize them, and then they just move as a big clump with the ribs and the spine, and that's not super ideal. So what we're gonna do today is try to sense our scapula on our back and then try to mobilize them independently of some of those other elements. So let's go ahead and get started. When you're ready, come to a comfortable seat. You can also stand if you prefer. And it's just here that we're gonna kind of start to sense our scapula just a little bit. So I'm just gonna start kind of taking one arm, kind of lifting the elbow out to the side and starting to see like, okay, how does my spine react to that? You know, how does my rib cage react or my pelvis? And I'm gonna try to maintain neutral in all of those areas and ask my shoulder to do its movement on its own without my ribs or spine or pelvis moving with it. And then it's here that I just kind of want to see like, okay, where is this elbow tip? You know, is it kind of swinging forward and backward in space? Can I get it to swing more just like out to the side like it's just kind of pulling a string out from the side of my waist straight out? So that I can kind of feel like I'm lifting my elbow up in a balanced way, kind of at the center point, putting like balanced pressure up the arm into the shoulder. And I just want to kind of maybe now pause here and see, can I start to sense some of the muscles underneath my armpit as they kind of go around the back, as they kind of go onto that shoulder blade. And now the shoulder, I'm going to see if I can lift my elbow up. And as I lift my elbow up, it's kind of hard to see it maybe, but you can see that the shoulder blade likes to go up with it. And so now it's sort of elbow up and elbow down, and starting to sense, can I feel the shoulder blade actually kind of pivot and sway on the back? So maybe I can even kind of go with my hand, so it would go like up with the elbow, and back down with the elbow. And it can do other things, like I can have the elbow go up, and then I can try to force my scapula down. Can you see if you can do that? And then kind of release it back up, and then kind of force it down. It's actually gonna kind of pull and tug on the whole arm, but you can see like, okay, lifting it up, like really lifting, and then pulling it back down. And like I said, it's connected to the arm. So when it lifts up and the elbow goes up, you pull it back down. Can maybe just switch our sides from here. So taking the other hand to the shoulder. And then we can start moving it out to the side and back down. Trying to kind of feel like the center of the elbow doing the job so that all sides of the arm are working evenly, if this is making sense. And then from here, with the elbow now up, just trying to sense like, okay, there's some muscles back here behind my armpit. That's kind of, it's like encasing the scapula back there, like kind of hugging it. And now lifting the elbow up and the scapula go up with it, taking the elbow back down, and just seeing, can I get the elbow to go up and down? Getting the just kind of sensing like, where does my scapula just kind of move on its own? Does it feel more stuck? The next time we go up, we can hold it here, and then we can play with different scapular movements. We can lift the scapula up, and then we can take it back down, and we can lift it up, and take it back down, lift it up, and take it back down. Releasing through the arms. So hopefully now just sensing it a little bit more. And so this gets into the possible ranges of motion for our shoulder blades. So our shoulder blades are capable of retracting. That's when they move together. And they kind of, I imagine like retraction. If you want to come to hands and knees, you can feel it. Kind of imagine you're squeezing a shoulder blade between the scapula. And then protraction is the opposite, where they wing off the back. And so if that's where we'll meet now in tabletop position, if you don't want to bear weight on your wrists, you can take a seated position against a wall and push a wall away. And so from here we can see, okay, can I settle my arms? You know, maybe I kind of wing the elbows in and out to kind of rotate through the shoulders a little bit. And then can I get kind of a neutral rotation of my shoulders where the soft creases of the elbows are sort of pointing more forward. And then from there, can I keep my elbows straight and just try to work with the shoulder blades? So really push out through the fingers more than the wrists. We're gonna try to not adjust the rib cage or the pelvis or the spine, but just melt the shoulder blades together. I don't know if melt is the right word, but take the shoulder blades together like you're trying to kind of squeeze a pencil between them, but still push out through the hands, keep the arms really straight. See if your ribs wanted to move with that or the spine. Push out through your fingers, keep your elbows straight, or protract the shoulder blades, take them off the sides. And we're gonna go in and out like that. So retract and protract. And just kind of breathe easy through the nose and start to notice how your ribs are adjusting, because the brain is used to moving these and oftentimes in just one big clump. So now I'm asking the brain to build a little bit more nuanced map of this area of my body. And after this next one, we can go ahead, come off the wrists, just kind of see how you did there. How does everything feel? And so then we can start to put all of those together. So as we put all of them together, we'll put retraction, protraction is when they move away, and then what we did before, the up and down, elevation, depression. And so we'll do kind of these full circular movements with our shoulder blades, and you'll kind of have to suss out for yourself whether you want to do both together, if you want to do one at a time. Totally your call. So comfortable seat or stand, whatever you like. I'm just gonna go ahead and take the arms. Where do I want to take them? So now you can do this actually with the arms in a lot of different positions, down by your side, in front of you, even all the way up. So that eventually is like a good progression to work towards. We won't do all of that today. We'll just kind of pick a position that feels more comfortable. So I'm gonna do arms down. I'm gonna actually build some fists here so that we can get the arms really straight and we can sort of dedicate some resources to maintaining that as we just try to work with the shoulder blades. So if we come to neutral through the pelvis and the ribs and the spine, we find like a neutral rotation up here in the shoulder socket. And then from here, we're gonna try to just move the shoulder blades. So we can first start by taking the shoulder blades and retracting them together. As you do that, try to hold your ribs in, try to hold your pelvis in. Now we're gonna try to keep them squeezing together, but we're gonna try to lift them all the way up. So it's gonna shrug the shoulders up to the ears. Then we're gonna try to maintain our rib position, but open the shoulder blades out. Okay, my arms totally wanna lose it there. And then slide them down on the outside. Okay, so going together, lifting up, moving them away, taking them down, taking them together. Keep the arms straight. That's where a lot of those resources are going. Up, out to the side, and down. Let's go up now on the outside, so you're changing the direction. Keep the arms straight, that's the hardest part. Squeeze them in at the top. Let's try to slide them down. Move them out on the bottom. Keep the arms as straight as possible. Ribs in, all the good stuff. Lift them all the way out on the outside. Ooh. Bring them together at the top. Slide them down. Last one. Keep the resources in the arms. Open them up. Can you see how sometimes your elbows just want to bend and do all of it for you? Lift the shoulder blades up. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Bring the shoulder blades down. Okay, release this. You can kind of work it out here if you wanted to come forward towards like maybe even some cat-cows. But we'll try to do the same thing now in our tabletop position. So now if we come in towards tabletop, remember you can always sit, face a wall, push the wall away, same thing. So that's sort of the boundary, right? If like we can keep the arms as much out of it as possible, it's gonna force the brain to do the movement in someplace else, someplace that's not as accessible or not as easy right out of the gate. That's the shoulder blades, that's what we're going for. So if we layer the hands down underneath the shoulders and we sort of kind of figure out, like we can move the shoulders around a little bit and kind of try to get the arms in a position where it feels pretty basic, pretty, let's say like neutral rotation. Then can I feel my ribs? Can I feel my rib cage as a three-dimensional unit? Can I feel my pelvis, my abdomen, all of that? And I'm gonna need to use these resources to push out through the hands to keep my arms as straight as possible as we now slide the shoulder blades together and then retract or protract. So it's the same thing that we just did. And then we're gonna do the full rotation. So shoulder blades together, keep the shoulder blades together, but now slide them up towards the ears. Keep the arms straight, keep the ribs neutral, pelvis neutral. Spread the shoulder blades away from each other, protract. Slide the shoulder blades down. Take the shoulder blades together. And so that's the movement. Slide them up towards the ear. Take them away from each other. Slide them down on the outside. Let's do this one more time and really pay attention to how the arms are doing. Are the elbows rotating a bunch? Try to keep the elbows also fixed. That's going to be a game changer. Try to keep your elbows not rotating, fixed. After this last one, change your direction and take 3 with the shoulder blades lifting up on the outside, coming together at the top, sliding down together and moving away. Let's take 3 of those. You know, the more diligent we can be about the arms, the more this is gonna start to feel like, oh, I get it. It's hard to get it when we're really loosey-goosey or when we're really non-specific, because When we lose the specificity, we lose, like the purpose really behind what we're doing and what we're trying to get out of it. So from here, let's go ahead, meet in a comfortable seated position. In this comfortable seated position, we can sort of move around in any way that feels good. It might even feel good to lift the arms out and up and just kind of move the arms out and down and start to feel, okay, where are they back there? What are they doing? So what we just did is a really great practice to add in to even before you start doing chaturangas. Because it teaches the muscles on the upper back how to really control the movement of the shoulder blade and how to individuate that movement from movement of the ribs and the spine, which I think is really cool. Let's go ahead and meet in a comfortable seat. Just take a moment to breathe, to process what just happened, give our nervous system a little bit of a break. If you like to close your eyes, of course you can. Otherwise, you can just try to let your vision be soft and spread out, not really grabbing onto anything in your environment. See if it's okay to breathe in and out through the nose. Thank you so much for joining in today's practice. I hope that you were able to feel even just 1 little millimeter of movement back there. The important thing is that the brain sends the signal and eventually it turns into some mechanical action as we learn to really control all these different parts of our body. But I promise that mobilizing this area, taking some time to do it every day, will result in better feeling and working body structures. So thank you so much. I'll see you again here next week. And in the meantime, if you'd like to donate to this work, I will leave a link to our Patreon in the description below. Thank you and see you next week.